Hello all, and welcome to this. And this will be me talking about the last ROH Big Show non-AI pay-per-view thing, Manhattan Mayhem 5, which, of course, is the first thing that would have been an iPay-per-view that's not an iPay-per-view anymore. Now let's talk about that first. When they announced that, I said that, it would be okay. It still wouldn't be good, but it would be okay if they, did these, if they stopped doing iPay-per-views, since apparently they didn't feel like they get it right, if they could get the shows up in a timely manner. My opinion, a timely manner would be 24 hours tops, not the next. I believe this went up on Wednesday. I could be wrong there. That's too long. The show needed to go up much sooner than that, because even if you have something that people are going to want to talk about, and there's some buzz about it, they need to be able to watch it right then. That's what kind of society we live in now, and not being able to do that is a giant hindrance. So that's not good. Needs to be up quicker. My opinion, the show needs to be up the same night, if possible. This show went late, so I would say maybe not this show, but for the most part, there you go. So let's talk about this show. Unlike most people, I thought this was a very good show. I didn't think it was a great show, even though I'm sure people will look at the star ratings and say, yeah, but you got some. Yeah, I do. But the show was, wrestling-wise, the show was very good. Was maybe even great. The problem is you had Prince Nana, and I love Prince Nana, and this is no disrespect to him. I just don't think this is the right way to use him. They had him on color commentary, and basically he sucked. He was horrible. Was just took away from just about everything. The stuff he was trying to get over just didn't get over, and all of that stuff. So that was a big hindrance to me on this show. The crowd, of course, didn't help either. But I knew that going in, so that wasn't a big, giant surprise. But anyways, we got Silas Young taking on Adam Page in the opener. This was pretty good. Could have been better, but it was pretty much it was a good, solid opener. Nothing too, they hit their spots, they did their thing. It's kind of slow in some parts, and the crowd was kind of just like, which you're gonna have. One of the problems ROH is going to have, and this is definitely evident when you look at the lower card, and I think every indie, and people need to understand this, I don't think they fathom it, even though it's been talked about now since WWE opened up their training center thing. They've made it no secret that the amount of people that they expect to have at that center is 100 people. Let me repeat that, 100 people. That includes the collegiate wrestlers they hope to sign, the football guys that they hope to sign, the bodybuilder guys they hope to sign, and that's apparently going to be about half of what they expect to have there. And then they're going to bring in indie guys to fill up the other half, which means 50 guys of just indie guys. The indies right now are weak as it is. There isn't, you don't have the Samoa Joes and the Bryan Danielsons and the Nigel McGuinnesses and all of those type guys. They're not there anymore. They're just not. You have some really good guys. I don't think you have anyone that I would call a legit draw like any of those guys were on the indies, and that's a major problem. And now you're going to start taking away even more of those guys, because they're going to have to sign even more of these guys over time, and you just don't see those guys coming up. And that is a massive, 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 massive problem. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, not that I'm sure there are really good guys out there. I mean, if you looked at the National Wrestling Day thing, I mean, how many of those guys did you see on that show that you were like, wow, those guys need a bigger spotlight, or those guys, I want to see more of those. I mean, honestly, and I understand the type of show was, but still, it was that type of show. And, it's just not there anymore. So I think something's going to need to change, because you're going to have to get some talent coming up, and we're just not seeing that right now. So anyways, that was the opener. Then we got CNC Wrestle Factory taking on Adrenaline Rush. This probably would have been good, except this was botcherific. You know, guys were trying to hit stuff. They were missing stuff. They were trying to do too much is what they were trying to do. And I could see a lot of people really liking this match. I couldn't. The botches just took me out of it. It was still okay, but still, it wasn't. It was guys way trying to do too much. Then we got Matt Taven taking on Mike Mondo. This was okay as well. Nothing too wonders and spectacular. So the undercard, you know, as we're going along, isn't anything spectacular. Then we got the Young Bucks versus Forever Hooligans. The Young Bucks, as you would expect, were crazy over. The Hooligans, not so much. You could tell that either the fans didn't care about these guys or they just didn't know who they were. My friend Brian had told me at WrestleMania weekend that when Karl Anderson was there, that it was pretty evident to him that a lot of these people had no idea who Karl Anderson was, you know, really, and had probably not seen his New Japan stuff. That's kind of sad. You would think that the guys going, particularly these New York shows, would be those type of fans, and that's not what we got. But this match was great. You know, what wasn't like match of the year great, but it was a great match. Had a lot of fun watching it. You know, it was a Young Bucks type match where they're going to get all their shit in, which I kind of get tired of after a while. But the Forever Hooligans were what they were. There were still some good comedy spots and some good, just overall, just a lot of fun to watch match. So there you go. Then you had R.D. Evans and QT Marshall taking on what wound up being a mystery team. The videos that were before the weekend with the clown type face. We found out who they were. It was Homicide and Eddie Kingston. They were coming in to, you know, I'm not exactly sure why they're showing up, but to, you know, to basically clean up Ring of Honor, but not in a heelish way, I guess. More of a, you know, face way to make, you know, Ring of Honor better, I guess. This match sucked. It needed to be a squash and was a fairly long match, so for not being a squash. So on that. Then we had Ciampa taking on Mike Bennett. This was okay as well. Probably what you would expect with these guys. Nothing too fabulous or amazing, but it was what it was. Then we get Roderick versus Kevin Steen. You would think this match would be great. It was just very good. You know, just you know, wasn't meant to be a great match, but it was a very good match and was kind of what it was as well. Then we had Karl Anderson versus Mike Elgin. This is the match where I got pissed off before I'd even watched the show with the crowd's reaction, and then watching the crowd reaction during this match made me even more pissed off at them. It was just them trying to get themselves over, and this was a pretty freaking. It wasn't a great match, but it was pretty damn close. And this might have been you know, this and the main event were pretty much on par with each other. And the fans just didn't give two shits. And yeah, I've gone off on my rant about that. Then we had the American Wolves taking on the reDRagon, and this was very, very good as well. You know, it wasn't great, but it was very good. There was just, I don't know, we were just missing something. This whole show to me was just, it was missing something. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely missing something. And so there we go with that, the review. But as I said, you know, Ring of Honor has got to put the matches up, or the shows up, much faster than what they put this up. I definitely believe that. And, you know, it's the same problem that they've had for, you know, a while now, where they're trying to, you know, with talent, you know, you're trying to you're trying to keep that name Ring of Honor was back when you had Joe and, you know, all of those guys, and you just don't have the talent because the talent's not there. The talent's in WWE, and even, you know, in the great indie talent, you know, WWE signing up. It looks like they're gonna at least give the American Wolves a tryout. You know, we'll see. I'm sure it's to see if they can, you know, get over with a crowd being at their size. So we will see. But yeah, it was pretty much what it was. Didn't really do much. It was a very good show. I would say it's a show, you know, if you wanted to see it, go see it. If it's a show that didn't necessarily tickle your fancy, nothing you really have to see. So no match of the year contenders or anything like that, and it wasn't just a good, it wasn't a show that breezed by and was super entertaining either. To be honest, the commentating had a lot to do with that for me, unfortunately. So again, so wasn't too impressed with this show. Like I said, it was a very good show, but it wasn't a great show, and just very underwhelming. But like I said, I think this is going to be, you know, I think they're going to have the same problem. I think every indie company is going to have this problem coming up where WWE is going to start signing up more and more guys, and there's really nowhere you're seeing other guys take their spots, kind of popping up, but not popping up fast enough, and that's an issue. And unless TNA decides to start letting out, some of the lesser, cheaper guys, like it looked like they were doing, but even more of them, I don't see, AJ Styles, announced that his contract was expiring. He put up there, where would people like to see me? A lot of people said Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor can't afford him, to be completely honest. But the only real option he has is going to WWE. Maybe New Japan if New Japan wanted to sign him, but I even doubt that. I mean, it's basically he either signs with WWE or he goes back to TNA, and so I don't see really him going anywhere. A lot of people got kind of been out of shape over it. Don't really see why, but and you have other guys that they could let go that are talented, but that if they show up in Ring of Honor, the fans are going to shit on them as soon as they walk in because they're not Ring of Honor type guys. They don't have that Ring of Honor type talent, which is a bunch of crap anyways, and just really annoys me because Ring of Honor could use a good giant. Ring of Honor could use some bigger guys. Ring of Honor could use a lot of some diversity in their guys. So many of the guys just wrestle the exact same way, and there's not a lot of variety in what you're seeing, and it gets boring because it's like, oh yay, but is it that much different? Is it really that much different? I mean, that's the issue you're going to have, and I think that's a major problem with these shows. So there we go. So they did announce, Final Battle was going to take place in New York, so we will see, so that's really all I got to say about that. So with that, I'm out. Have a good one. Later.